toddler you are selected, and you constantly get my messages each time they are meant to your life. Either to teach you a lesson or to warn you of the imminent risks of life. However, usually I see you brush aside the messages I send to you. My infant, I love you unconditionally, however I preference on your love again. You could love me by your little actions. For your choices, your words, your silence, your kindness, your patience. You may love me while you take a look at some other soul with compassion as opposed to judgment, whilst you gradual down sufficient to pay attention when someone speaks from their ache. While you permit go of your pride and take the route of peace, you could not continually understand my voice within the moment. I recognize that my messages come not continually in thunder or wind, but every so often in stillness and whispers and delays and longings, in brokenness or even in silence. Do now not be short to push aside what seems small or inconvenient. I do not constantly talk the way the sector does. My approaches and your approaches, my mind are higher. Whilst you think I am absent, I'm nevertheless speaking. I speak in what you name interruptions. I speak through the doorways that near and the ones that open. I talk through the humans I ship, even the ones you do now not expect. My baby, I see your weariness. I know the burdens that you carry. The weight you do no longer communicate of. The prayers which you have shelved because you suspect I did no longer hear. I heard. I usually listen. However, I answer not just out of your timeline, but from the tapestry of eternity. What I withhold, I do no longer withhold in cruelty, however in know-how. What I put off to shield or prepare. What I give, I provide with pleasure. However, do no longer mistake delay for denial or my silence for absence. I am nearer than your breath. I see you when you smile despite the fact that you are breaking. I see you whilst you love others from an area of lack while you give out of your nothing. I see you while you pick out me even when your flesh is begging you to run every other manner. Do not suppose your small imbalances are wasted. Each time you switch your eyes closer to me, I see it. Every time you pick kindness over retaliation, I know it. On every occasion you say I accept as true with you, despite trembling the heavens, pay attention. Toddler, I'm not looking for perfection. I am seeking out your heart. I'm now not measuring you via how regularly you fall, however by using how regularly you come to me. I recognize you fall. I knew you'll fall. That is why I gave you my grace. However, do not linger in shame. Guilt isn't always your private home. Return to me. I by no means tire of your return. The moment you whisper my call, I'm there. You think now and again that I am disenchanted in you. You measure your well-worth by means of your overall performance. But I've never loved you for what you may do for me. I love you due to the fact you're mine. Before you knew me, I knew you. Before you could talk, I referred to as you. I've never withdrawn my love, not once, now not even to your darkest day. I was with you within the places you idea I had deserted you. I wept with you whilst nobody else noticed your tears. I carried you when you had no strength. You wonder why ache is permitted. Child, pain is never from my heart, however I use what's damaged to deliver something stunning. In fire you're refined. In pressure you are formed. In loss I draw near. You aren't being punished whilst you suffer. You are being shaped. I'm able to now not waste your struggling. What you live to tell the tale you may use. What overwhelmed you, I will change into compassion. I see how often you doubt your fee. You compare, you turn away, you question in case you matter. But toddler, you're my handiwork. Each line of your tale topics. I do now not make accidents. There may be no one such as you in all the earth. You aren't replaceable. You are not invisible to me. I do no longer just tolerate you. I satisfaction in you. I am pleased with you not because you've got executed everything right, however due to the fact you hold on foot. You maintain it emptying. You keep coming domestic to me. You are saying you need to hear my voice greater in reality. However you fill your existence with noise. Come away with me. Make room to your soul. I do no longer shout over your distractions. I wait. I whisper. Turn off the things that numb you. Silence the voices that drain you. You do no longer want the arena's approval to be treasured. You have already got mine. Let me be sufficient. There are places I need to take you, however I ought to prepare you first. You want the promise, however I need you equipped for it. I'm building your roots so that when the blessing comes, it's going to now not destroy you. What you observed is a barren region is absolutely a place of guidance. I prune what I love. I accurate whom I treasure. You aren't forgotten. You are being fortified. Do now not run from discomfort. It is inside the stretching that your spirit grows. It smiles in surrender that you locate actual freedom. Prevent looking to restoration yourself on your own electricity. Allow me. Surrender isn't always weak spot. It's far electricity. When you yield to me, I will pass to your existence. Consider my arms, even when you do now not recognize my approaches. Do no longer fear what's in advance. I am already to you the following day. I am going earlier than you, and I walk beside you. No hurricane surprises me. No conflict overwhelms me. I have already written the ending. You are not strolling toward defeat. You're walking into destiny. Sure, there will be battles. Yes, there might be tears, but I've overcome the sector. You aren't preventing for victory. You are combating from victory. I see how you long for readability for reality. However, I ask you to walk through religion. Faith does not imply you'll experience assured at every step. It way you trust me enough to preserve walking. Accept as true with me when the map disappears and all you have is my hand. Consider me once I say no. Trust me after I say wait. Believe me when I say cross. You may in no way remorse obeying me. I am now not scared of your doubts. Carry them to me. I am now not afraid of your anger. Tell me, I am now not indignant by your ache. Allow me maintain it. I'm now not some distance off. I'm now not a distant God. I came near. I got here near. I took on your struggling so that you might in no way be alone in yours. You want to be used for something tremendous. You are. Every day you select mild over darkness. You are advancing my state. On every occasion you forgive rather than hate, you are defeating evil. Every act of affection is everlasting. The greatest works are not continually visible by means of others, however I see. Heaven sees. Nothing performed in love is ever lost. Infant, prevent walking from yourself. I made you in my photograph. I located eternity for your coronary heart. That restlessness you experience is the call of your spirit to return domestic. No job, no dating, no amount of success will fill the space intended for me. Come sit down with me. Come talk with me. Permit me remind you of who you are. Permit me let you know what is proper. Permit me display you the beauty I have positioned in you. I do now not grow weary of you. You are not an excessive amount of for me. You aren't too broken, too past due, too always long gone. I'm the God of redemption. I repair what is misplaced. I heal what's wounded. I resurrect what is dead. There may be no mistake you have made that I can't develop into a message of hope. There's no wound I cannot change into a properly of compassion. Do not waste your days trying to earn what I've freely given. You are stored by way of grace. You're cherished without situations. You're held without overall performance. Obedience is your providing of love, now not your direction to earning mine. Infant, listen closely. For I communicate not in riddles, but in truth. You stay in international that attracts, tempts, deceives and distracts. Each day the voices round you clamor to your attention, and grade by grade, in case you aren't anchored in me, you may start to waft. No longer in one great fall, now not in an obvious insurrection, but in the quiet choices, in the overlooked overlook, inside the small compromises that appear harmless. The enemy is subtle. He does no longer want to destroy you in an unmarried moment. He simplest wishes you to prevent listening. This is the chance I'll urge you of, the sluggish, disregarded fading of your heart far from mine. Now not because I left you, I in no way will, however, due to the fact you stopped turning closer to me. You stopped making area for me. You stopped listening to me due to the fact you stopped listening. And without my voice guiding you, toddler, the noise of the sector turns into louder, and confusion takes root. My human beings perish for lack of know-how, now not because I did not supply it, but due to the fact they stopped receiving it. You do now not fall all of a sudden. You float, glide far away from my reality. Drift far away from my word. Flow away from your past love. What starts as tiredness, as busyness, as distraction turns into distance, the gap will become dullness. Dullness becomes deception. And you then wonder why you now not experience me. Why your prayers experience empty. Why your power has failed. I let you know this no longer to condemn, however to evoke you. You should build your life round hearing me every day. You need to make a habit of looking for me. Do no longer look forward to the disaster to return strolling. Learn how to come at the same time as it's miles still day, at the same time as the mild still shines. Learn to hunger for my word like each day bread. Not once per week, not whilst you experience love it. Day by day, for dependency turns into foundation. And when the typhoon hits, your foundation is all with the intention to stay. The enemy is affected person. He does not thoughts waiting. If he cannot flip you with fireplace, he will wear you down with consolation. He'll lull you into apathy. He's going to replace devotion with distraction. He will offer you what feels suitable to the flesh but numbs the soul. He does now not constantly convey destruction with force frequently. He brings it with subtlety. Study with innocent-looking conduct, with busyness, with limitless scrolling. With evaluations masked is fact, with one half mild that appears sufficient like me to trick you, but now not enough to save you. And while you do no longer pay attention to me day by day, you emerge as inclined, via your discernment weakens. Your fireplace dies down. You begin to justify what you once might have resisted. You begin calling holy what I in no way known as holy. You begin to forget about what I said. You begin to lean on your very own information. However, I by no means told you to stroll on my own. I in no way informed you to parent all of it out without me. You have been made to walk in line with me, no longer in occasional moments of devotion, but in persistent communion. Addiction isn't always legalism. It's mild survival. It's far expertise. The day-by-day rhythm of my presence paperwork a shield round your soul. It keeps your coronary heart soft. It continues your ears tuned. It strengthens you for what you cannot but see. Do not suppose you're too robust to fall. Even the mighty can be deceived when they forestall listening. Even the sensible can become fools once they forsake my phrase. It is not talent that sustains you. It isn't emotion that anchors you. It's miles everyday surrender. It is daily devotion. It is each day obedience. You question me for path, but you forget about the course I have already marked out. I've given you my word. I have given you my spirit. I've given you get right of entry to me always. Why do you watch for the thunder to talk while I have already whispered each day? I'm now not a ways away. I am not withholding. I am waiting with a purpose to go back to me, no longer just in emergencies, however in dependency, in hunger, in field. Do now not permit your coronary heart grow cold. Do no longer develop comfortable in inconsistency. It isn't always enough to know my name. You need to walk in my reality, and truth is not a feeling. Fact isn't convenience. Fact is who I am. And when you prevent feeding your spirit with truth, the lies grow more potent. They communicate louder. They shape the way you see the world, the way you see others, the way you see yourself. A number of my humans have turned out to be content material with 2 hand hearth. They depend upon others to carry what I ask them to are seeking for themselves. They consume sermons, but do now not sit down with me. They quote verses, however do now not meditate on them. They enhance their palms in worship, but near their hearts in private. This isn't what I choice. I need your coronary heart. I need your existence. I need your attention. In case you do not come to me day by day, the arena will form you in its picture. You'll begin to suppose adore it. Talk adore it. Live find it irresistible. You'll name compromise love and reality intolerance. You will fear man more than me. You'll overlook how to hear me due to the fact you filled your soul with such a lot of other voices. After which while disaster comes, you will experience misplaced no longer due to the fact I left you, however because you stopped cultivating the dependency of taking walks with me. Come again to me, toddler. Come lower back before your heart hardens. Come again before you forget about the sound of my voice. Come lower back earlier than the arena seduces you with its counterfeit peace. Come back while it's far nonetheless easy to return. For them may additionally come a day whilst the fear of return is more than you imagined, now not due to the fact I would turn you away, however because your coronary heart may additionally no longer need to come. Do not deceive yourself. Religious go with the flow is actual. You do no longer awaken one day some distance from me without first letting cross of me a bit at a time. Each ignored conviction, each silenced whisper, every compromise of fact leads you similarly. And I do not alert you to shame you. I provide you with a warning because I love you. I warn you due to the fact you count. I warn you due to the fact the time is brief and the darkness grows formidable. Make space for me on your regular. Now not simply within the morning or evening, but in every second. Permit me be the first thought in the last. Permit my phrase form how you see everything. If you do now not stay through my word, you may stay via the world. There is no neutral ground. Each habit either brings you toward me or pulls you farther. Every small desire subjects. Do now not become tired of in search of me. Even whilst you do now not sense it, you are being fashioned. Even when it appears quiet, I am planting something deep. The fruit does no longer always show right away, but it's far developing. Your dependency of listening daily is like watering seeds that someday becomes refuge. It smiles the quiet power so that it will keep you within the typhoon. It is the oil on your lamp. When others are scrambling for light, you'll shine because you stayed crammed. I am calling my humans again to discipline, now not harshness, however holy devotion. I am calling you to make space once more and to turn off the noise, to come back away, to rest in me and be renewed. You ask for revival, however revival begins in non-public habit. You want hearth, however fireplace falls on the altar and altars are built each day. You want miracles, however I need your obedience. Some of you have got grown lukewarm, and also you do now not even comprehend it. You're neither warm nor bloodless. You undergo the motions, however your coronary heart is aways. You provide me a look, however now not your gaze. You communicate my call, but do no longer stroll in my reality. My infant, this is not sufficient. I did not die for half of your heart. I did now not upward thrust for half of your existence. I gave the whole lot. I requested for the whole thing in go back. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot love each light and darkness. You cannot stroll in freedom at the same time as holding palms with chains. I do now not condemn you, however I will now not compete to your coronary heart. Pick out at the present time whom you may serve, no longer once however each day. Every hour, every moment. Your existence is a series of choices, and each one echoes in eternity. I know the course I ask of you is not usually easy. It smiles slim. It smiles pricey, but it's far life. The huge avenue leads to destruction, and plenty of stroll it as it is straightforward. However the slender avenue leads to life, and few find it as it calls for consciousness. Everyday consciousness, day by day field, everyday surrender. You can't stroll this path without me. However, if you live close to, in case you listen daily, in case you stroll in my word, you will be sustained. You'll be blanketed. You'll be complete of light in a dark age. I can give you wisdom for each choice. I will come up with energy for each weak point. I can give you pleasure that no person can take, but I'm able to not pressure myself upon you. I gave you the glory of choice. I gave you the capacity to open or close your ears, to draw near or to glide. What you feed will grow. What you forget about will die. And if you forget my phrase, in case you forget about my presence, the fireplace will dim. Your hunger will fade. Your heart will wander. And shortly, you will now not even take into account what you have lost. Do now not wait for a disaster to keep in mind me. Build your existence in me now. Shop up oil now. Develop the dependency now. While you find time for me daily, it isn't always wasted, it is invested. I multiply what you give. I grow what you surrender. And I guard what you devote. Allow your roots pass deep. Let your coronary heart continue to be soft. Let your ears live open. This world will offer you many stuff, however simplest one component is needed. To take a seat at my feet and concentrate. From that vicinity, the whole thing else flows. From that location, you will realize what is real and what's counterfeit. From that area, you will walk in peace at the same time as others tremble. You'll walk in readability even as others are careworn, to be watchful. The times are evil. The deception is diffused. The culture is transferring. What once turned into unthinkable is now celebrated. What once changed into sacred is now mocked. Do no longer be stuck unaware. Guard your coronary heart. Protect your mind. Be rooted in fact every day. Or you'll be swayed by way of lies. Do now not assume you may stand company simply because you as soon as stood firm. The previous day's faith is not enough for modern day battle. The day gone by's man can't feed present day starvation. To me every day. Searching for me anew. Question me for clean vision. Clean hearth. Clean strength. I supply generously to all who ask, however you need to ask. You should are trying to find. You ought to knock. I have not referred to as you to live to tell the tale. I have referred to as you to triumph over. I have no longer called you to combination in. I have called you to shine. But you can't shine without oil. You can't withstand the night without flame. And flame comes from each day communion. Firm selecting me when it smiles hard. From denying yourself and taking up your move. No longer as soon as. However daily. So pick out nowadays. Choose habit over hype. Pick out faithfulness over emotions. Select my phrase over the sector.